So this is now the third one, where the first one we've looked at how we develop the representation. The second one looked at um, unpacking and being able to explain the process, so how the language features convey the representation. And now this last one is about putting that all together to create your paragraph response. So this is where we left off. We have a representation, we have evidence, and we have the process in the unpacking and the connection. We're going to walk through the lawyer paragraph from Write That Essay, and it is one of the options that's there. So, based on this, state your point. The poem. Now, in this, we'll probably want to say the poem's title in our opening sentence, but it's right there. What are you trying to convince us of? I'm trying to convince you that the poem represents war as a glorious way to die. Next one, why it matters. So, this is where we start bringing in the connection of ideas. Our evidence is there. And now I need to start thinking about the order of these. So I'm going to start with the idea of glory using this one because it's that idea of being a hero that really links with that rhetorical question and glory. So I need to set up for my audience the idea that Tennyson is all about the idea of the hero, and from hero comes glory. What I've also decided is these two examples, they don't really connect with this extra bit that I've put in my representation. So I'm just going to take it out and have it as a glorious way to die for a soldier, because there's nothing really patriotic in the two that I'm looking at. And it also means that when I look at my second text, it's a little bit more open. Now, I haven't put up my sum up sentence because that's one that you can really put together yourself. But here is my paragraph. So let's break down these sentences into which part they are. So the first part, right there and clear, I've got the title of the poem, the poet, and I'm into my statement representation. That's it. My next ones are looking at why it matters. So a lot of you will start these with, this is important because. That's a waste of words. So I could easily say, this is important because soldiers at war are heroes in anyone's eyes, and to be a hero is to have glory. But I don't need that phrase. So this is a quick sentence to connect my representation to my explanation. Now the next part is the main bulk of it. And you'll see here, I'm using the poet's surname because he and I we're not friends yet, so I can't really call him by his first name. I've got to say Tennyson. And I've used my evidence in quotation and italics, so this makes it really clear that that's my evidence. But it is not just stating, it is delivering your evidence to prove 3 to 4 sentences. So in that, you need to be incorporating your explanation. Now, when you look at this, not once have I labeled any of these as the quote, because my punctuation does that for me. I've used the language of the unit, and I've shown that I can connect all of these dots. And the last one there is my short sentence. Now, I've hit right on the 12 words. But this is a really short, sharp phrase that sums up and drives home my main idea, that to be heroic and glorious is to die for one's country. Now, I've put that back in there because the text that I'm going on to look at brings in that element. So I wanted to have that little bridge in there. But, and I'm going to put this up here now so you can pause to read through. But that is essentially the paragraph. It's got each of the elements that we need in there, and it does the job of explaining how. So that's all 3 now you've looked at. How do you find the representation? How do you explain the process to connect the features to the representation? How do you put together the paragraph? You've now got all of the tutorials, all of the skills you need to go and write your paragraph.